Hey everybody, back again with another card for you. I got DeadMan from DC Comics. This one is a personal favorite for me. I love this one. I left the pencils, just took the gray straggler and went over the top of it right before I came on to kind of smooth that out a little and use a blending tool probably to blend it out and make that happen for a nice smooth surface to get rid of my pencil lines and shave the shadowing see-through skin that he's got. So from the hard inks. So that's the plan. Gonna post this over on the page real quick so everybody can see it. And there we go. Cool deal. Hey Matthew, David, thank you guys for showing up, man. Now I'm gonna go old school with this one. It's gonna be a traditional red. And I'm going to go with the bright red on this one because I really want that face to pop up. So I'm going to use this paint pen here for this really, really rich red and see how it goes. I want it to be nice and rich and dark. And I might even go over it with a gray to smooth it out later. But we'll see how it goes first because I want to initially lay it out. And I'm going with the gloved version. So unfortunately for most people, he will have a red hand as well, which I may change my mind as we go along and pull out the gray and tone that. But for the most part, I'm glad I tapped that on the shoulder. For the most part, he is going to have the full red outfit. So we're going to make that happen at the very least. But like I said, there's potential to go through and rotating my tip here. Go through and do some different things with this one because I love the character. My buddy Kelly Jones, you may know him from a little place called DC Comics. Did I call him a friend, teasing and whatnot. He is one of the most phenomenal artists that I know for Gothic style characters. More so for DeadMan and for Swamp Thing. Love the guy's work. He just put out a collection, a hardback collection through DC for his collected works of the DeadMan series. And man, it's just, it still hasn't dropped any in age since he did it. The quality is still popping. And yeah, it's one of those things where I picked up this book in the late 80s, early 90s from its inception, and I tell you, I just got addicted with its modern inception. Let me say that, because it's been around for a while. This character's been around for a number of decades now, and I think he came in these, I want to say the 70s, but I'm not sure about that. But I picked up the 80s run when they rebooted it and set him back in the modern canon. And the first one that he went after was the first guy he went after. He was supposed to be a form of a Reaper instead of a hero. And he actually went after Superman because Superman supposedly was taking off Death, saying he couldn't die or whatever, and Death went after him. And he had brainwashed somehow the DeadMan character and made him come after him as a Reaper. And it was weird. It was weird. But I really dug that stuff because I dig the macabre stuff anyway. Because it's the highest form of fantasy right now. Horror is the biggest form of fantasy we have in entertainment beyond superhero stuff. Sci-fi and horror are where it's at. And if you mix the two together, I'm in full on. Give me a ticket. Give me the book. Give me whatever it is. I'll check it out. Because that's my wheelhouse for my personal entertainment. And it's just nuts, man. Just cool stuff. And I did this particular character because I would love, if I was to work at DC, if I was to ever get the opportunity to work at DC, which I'm not looking for that, but if I was to ever get the opportunity to work over there, I would want to draw this book. I would love to draw this particular character. This guy just has a um, it's got a scalability that nobody else has for the supernatural stuff, and it's never been taken as far as it should be, in my opinion. I mean, even with the stuff that I was reading and I had mentioned in that collection, it's never been taken into the level that I think it should be, because it's got so much more raw potential as a character-driven book, and they isolate him so easily to stay in the realm of the dead and whatnot, where he gets his emotional bond. But you never really get to see him break out in the human world as that same persona and that heart-wrenching character that he is. And I think there's so much missed story canon that could be created and be marked up for that purpose. But, it has yet to come. We'll see what happens. I mean, even in the stuff that's been there, and some people will be like, are you kidding me? This story, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but it's still dealing with him going through a phase of evolutionizing or revolting, more or less. It's not even an evolution. It's a revolt of who he is and who he's become. And that's a big thing. It gets deep into those aspects of who the character is, and they keep changing it up. So, it depends on who you are and what you read and what you like. And I did decide I'm going to go ahead and go red with this. I'm going to go red with these gloves. But, it's all in a matter of the perception of the reader, which I have an opinion about it, and I have a perception of it, and that's okay. If you don't agree with that, that's fine too. But nonetheless, we all know it's still a great character. So, unless you just don't like macabre stuff or like horror, and that's okay too. If it's not your thing, that's okay too. There's plenty of other stuff for you to jump onto. So, but for me, this guy is like one of the ultimate characters that doesn't get his due. Swamp Thing's that way too. Swamp Thing doesn't get near as much attention as most people would like. Even though he has a cult following, he still doesn't get the recognition as the strength powerhouse type of character that he is in the DC universe, and should get more respect and should get a better following. And in comparison to Marvel's Man-Thing, I think Swamp Thing's better. I just do. Man-Thing is a more horrifying, terrifying, menacing type of character. But in this genre of horror comics, I think Man-Thing is a little creepier. But I respect Swamp Thing as a character better, because he's able to speak. Which Man-Thing can speak to, but not quite as well. But he's just underrated. And they made a couple of good movies of him in the '90s, and I really dug those movies. I thought they were great the way they did them. The first one, from the early '80s, kind of but the Return of Swamp Thing was great, because it suited the comic book a lot better as far as the characters go. It was a better reach for the character. He had a sense of humor and was cynical, and I really enjoyed that. But you may disagree, and it's fine if you do. And no, it wasn't because I was a Heather Locklear fan, because I wasn't. I didn't like her in pretty much anything she did. But no offense to her, it just, I didn't see the typical, 80s, 90s blonde thing going on with her, so I didn't pay attention to it. But that's my choice too. Let's see. Which way do we want to go here? I'm trying to figure this out. I want to go with a blue on this one. I do want to go with a blue here because I want this to pop out. Hey, Javier, you made it, man. I appreciate you stopping by, buddy. Bill McKay, long time no see. Bill pops on my cards every once in a while when I do characters like this. But yep, the films were great. I wish they would have brought them back, and I hope now that they're doing the DC universe in film, that someday down the line we get a DeadMan film and it really works. But I tell you what I would like to see on this one. I would like to see Hulu or Netflix get this one as a DC Prime television universe series. But it has to be done in a dark, mature level. Otherwise, it won't work. But if DC ever wanted to get into the competition of the darker stuff, I think they would fit perfectly by doing a series of DeadMan. Totally different character. Unlike anything out there right now. They did really well with Constantine, and if they went that direction with it, where it was macabre and dark, I think they could pull it off. The 90s Swamp Thing series worked out really well because it was based off of the same storyline and cast of the movie of The Swamp Thing Returns, which like I said, I really enjoyed that film. But if they were to do DeadMan with modern effects and things, I think it would be a great storyline, and they could really, really, really tear it up in a good way. So I think they would do very well to get into that realm. And the funny thing is their supernatural television shows work better than their superhero series. Granted, the Arrow is great, but Constantine was, as far as I'm concerned, Constantine was a better show. It was better written and better built. And now they're trying to fit the superhero genre to go with the fad of what's going on in television and films, and I'm kind of as far as that goes. That's my sound. Jaded for it, But yeah, that's pretty much where it's at right now. I would love to see a DeadMan series come in and really shake things up. Now I know this gray is showing up a little light on this red, and I want it to, because it's going to give kind of that balancing washed look that the rest of his face has from the ghost appearance, because I want this to look ghostly and washed just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, to give it some accent color and a little bit of vibrant pop, as it were, because this gray is going to make him look ghostly and without going standard maroon on the shading here. I want it to look like he's transparent or have that milky phase to him, so he looks truly dead, or at least macabre. So, and have that creeper look about him. So I think it's working really well, actually. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Some people won't like the pencil and they'll be screaming at me, "You screwed it up! You had it perfect! You screwed it up! Stop!" It is what it is. It is what it is. It's my piece. I'm going to go for it. And, if it resonates with you and you like it, awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But I want to do something a little different with this one and make it really come up and hold up. So, but I thought I'd do a couple of these so that you guys would get more out of it today. I just, right before I came on, someone told me I was being in a generous mood, which is cool. I appreciate that. But, I'm just doing my thing, And we're so close to 800 now. Not 800, but 300. And, my plan was to do 800 of these, and with the how-to stuff that I'm building up, I've got another, a few months worth of videos that I could present with you guys and bring this all together and start releasing those as well. But we're so close to hitting 300 lives on Facebook right now, and Facebook and YouTube for this series particularly. So I'm trying to keep that straight and let you guys have that. I'm going to shade that in just a little. And trying to build up the series for you guys so you can get more material out there. So, but as always, my name is Simon and I like to draw pictures. That's all I'm doing is just drawing the pretty pictures. But yeah, you guys can find me over on Brad Linder creating comics actually on the channel for my YouTube, and you can find it by putting in my name. I'll pop up right at the top. I'm very happy with that. I like popping up right there at the top on YouTube when my name is put in. So, but yep, I think we've got this down and done. So I wanted to show you guys what's up with this thing coming through and showing the transparency of his head and his skin like he's ticked off, because that's one of the cool powers of DeadMan. When he gets upset and transforms and activates his power, he becomes transparent and his eyes go really milky and creepy like that. So there you go. But anyway, I hope it looks cool. Hope you dig it. As always, that's another one down. And we inherited this big rock for the time we're here. Make it a better place than you found it for the next generation. Talk to you later.